All right, let's do this. Oh,
let's do this. I think we're good. Center.
Yeah, fuck it. No, it looks good. All right.
All right.
Welcome to the Hold My Spot podcast. My name is Ethan.
And I'm Matt.
We go to concerts, and then we tell you all about it. Well, you go to concerts.
I go to a lot of concerts. You go to like one.
I used to like...
There was a time period where you did go to concerts.
There was this time period where I was almost keeping up with Matt here, but he's lapping me now.
I buried you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 6 feet under.
This is now the Matt Holds Your Spot podcast.
You know what? 6 feet under ain't so far down.
It's true.
And boy, do we have
Hold me now.
I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking. We got quite the concert to talk about today.
Yeah.
I mean, it's many concerts, really.
Yeah, it's a major festival. I mean, one that is near and dear to my heart. I love it.
One you've been looking forward to all year?
Yeah, I've been teasing in the podcast. I'm sure everybody's sick of me referring to it from last year, but tough. It's my podcast, so I'll talk about whatever the heck I want to talk about. How about that now, huh?
You're going to just go ahead and alienate our listeners like that? With that
all
attitude?
10 of them, yeah.
Somehow,
now we only have 3.
Maybe that's the part of you that they appreciate the most.
That's true.
Like,
yeah.
we come back for just like how sturdy he is in his takes.
That's right. Yes, that attracts people.
Yeah.
You know.
But you've been
polarizing personality.
Love him or hate him, but you have been pushing this, talking about this for months.
Yeah.
Why don't you set the stage for us and walk us through the itinerary? What, where, and when?
Yeah. So this was a blitz for me. And obviously we're talking about When We Were Young, 2023 out in Las Vegas. We should probably some sort of segue.
Glossed over that.
Yeah.
I don't even go to concerts. I hardly podcast.
We don't even say anything about this until about 30
if
minutes.
If you're listening, you read the title of the podcast. Is it my job to tell you more? You know, we prefer to be subtle here.
Yeah.
And our listeners
Read
appreciate
between
that.
The lines.
They almost appreciate it as much as they appreciate your polarizing personality.
That's right.
But anyways,
yeah.
the itinerary.
Anyway, When We Were Young. So I had a crazy itinerary. In my day job, in my corpo day job, I have to work every Saturday, which is sad. But I figured out ways to, make it work. Mm-hmm. So this week, the festival was 2 days, 2 identical lineups, 2 days in a row. So it was Saturday, this past Saturday, and Sunday. And I was nervous because for the longest time, they didn't announce the second date. They only had the first date out for probably 2 or 3 months. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to miss it this year. I have to work. I can't miss a Saturday.
Question, was it only 1 day last year?
It was actually 3 days last year.
Oh.
But the first day was canceled because of high winds. So a lot of sad emo kids, even sadder than normal emo kids last year when the first date was canceled. So I got lucky because I got to go to the second scheduled date, but it was the first day of the festival because the Saturday was canceled and they didn't reschedule it. Mm-hmm. And then they had a third date the following weekend, but I feel like all the magic was in that first weekend.
That's right. It was separated by a whole weekend.
Yeah.
That's weird to me.
Yeah, it is. It's and for them to be all identical too. I mean, actually, I think last year there were a couple changes. I think Avril canceled one date and didn't perform, and Death Cab played instead of somebody else. I can't remember, but
you know what that reminds me of? I don't know if you had this as a kid with families. You'd have the nuclear family Christmas, and then maybe there would be a secondary Christmas with another side of the family, but it was days removed from Christmas. And you were...
It was actually in like February.
Yeah, and you're already in the PCM, the post-Christmas malaise.
Yeah.
And it's like December 29th, and you're trying to recreate the magic. It's like...
It's impossible.
Christmas was over there.
Yeah.
You can't do it another weekend.
Yeah.
So it's 2 days this year.
Was 2 days.
Originally going to be
Saturday
one.
And Sunday.
I assume they extended to 2 because, why would we leave this much money on the table if everybody's in town?
Absolutely. And I talked to a lot of people that were there on Sunday that they ended up buying tickets for Saturday and went both days.
Yeah.
Which is like crazy to me because that's a lot of money. I mean, this was not a cheap festival.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're in town and you traveled from Ohio to Las Vegas or wherever, why not maximize it?
Yeah.
You know? And see every band instead of only like 2/3 of the bands that you want to see. Because
Right.
there's always going to be some overlap, and you just can't figure out a way of seeing like half of 2 sets or just missing one straight up. So,
Right. And what we'll find out throughout this wide-ranging conversation is
right.
that you had a packed schedule and sacrifices had to be made. You can't, even being there for as long as you were, you can't see everything that you want to see. Choices have to be made.
Yeah, there was definitely some disappointing decisions that I had to make. So I missed a couple big ones. Well, first of all, the headliners were Blink-182, Green Day, 30 Seconds to Mars, and The Offspring. I would say those were like the top 4 headliners.
Mm-hmm. And that was, sorry if you said this, identical like order of bands both days?
Yep, everything was identical.
Yeah.
So like in the old Warped Tour days, it was sort of like a lottery every festival. So, you know, the headliner, the biggest band could open, you know, one date and then also be in the middle of the schedule on another date. So that was always kind of cool because you didn't know where everybody was playing. But this was the same lineup, top to bottom, both days. I don't think that there were any bands that ended up not playing. There were some special guests that only showed up on one of the days for some of the sets. But none of them that I can remember canceled out on any of the days, which is nice.
Yeah. So you got in Saturday night after having to work a long day at your corporate hack job.
Yeah, it's the only reason I do it is so I can pay to go to festivals and concerts.
A means to an end.
Yeah, gotta fuel that lifestyle. But yeah, so took the red eye out of Cleveland. I got out of work at 5, went pretty much right to the airport. I think the flight took off at 7:30.
Sleep on
flight. Actually, I did, which was nice. I'm about 50-50 on being able to sleep on a flight. So I would say I got maybe like an hour of deepish sleep, and then the rest of the time my eyes were just closed with my hat over my head, just trying to be asleep.
What kind of hat?
That was my my Death Cab for Cutie hat.
Like a ball cap?
Yeah, it was a ball cap.
I don't know if I've ever seen you in a hat.
Well, you know I'm a hat guy, Ethan.
I know
Definitely a hat guy.
I know you want to be a hat guy.
Yeah, I'm not a hat guy.
Pre-flight drink?
I did.
Yes.
Yeah. Stopped over at my good buddy Sammy Hagar's restaurant in the Cleveland airport.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah.
What's better? Pre-flight drink? That's a top 5 life thing.
It is. It's dangerous though. Like it's either gonna put you to sleep and help you out and relax, or it just does something to you where you just can't relax and can't go to sleep.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's something with altitude or whatever, but I'm about 50-50 on that too.
Yeah, it's a cruddy type of awake when you're a bit buzzed on a flight.
Yeah.
Because you can't like focus on an audiobook or a podcast or anything.
Yeah.
You can't sleep. You're just in this terrible purgatory. I know what you mean.
And then you have like 4 more hours to go. And you're like, son of a bitch.
But I'm glad you got some deep sleep because you had a long night ahead of you. You hit the ground running.
I did. I hit the ground running, and I basically went to the hotel, went to the hotel, dropped my stuff off, and went right to the Brooklyn Bowl in Vegas, right by the big Ferris wheel, the Link.
The Brooklyn Bowl.
Yeah, BOWL. It's a bowling alley and concert venue. I guess it's
indoor, outdoor?
Indoor.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of them across the country. Cool venue. Ended up meeting some people in the line. I was going to do a whole separate episode on Emo Night, but I never gotten around to it, so maybe I should just put it out there.
I'd say just dump it all here.
All right, so standing in line, as soon as I landed, grabbed another drink, because it's a long night. Felt pretty good.
Well, drink of choice?
That was just a shot of Jameson.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. I got to hit the ground running. It's do or die.
Were you
because that's like I landed at 9, which would be what, midnight there or midnight here. So it's a 3-hour difference, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So if I didn't do something at midnight, my old man tendencies were going to kick in, and I was just going to fall asleep.
And you're saying that Jameson is essentially what, an energy drink for you?
I wouldn't say that, but it sets the tone.
Yeah.
It's all about setting the tone.
It's a tone.
Right?
Were you oscillating back and forth between different options, or did you know? Was it something you had decided maybe even days before the event that this is what your tone-setting drink is going to be at Emo Night Brooklyn?
I knew shots needed to be had.
Okay.
And I was going to take some low-cost shots from Cleveland on the plane there, but I just kind of ran out of time to pick up those little mini bottles.
Yeah.
So I get to the hotel, paid $6 for a bottle of little shot bottle of Jameson.
Yeah.
Bought 2 of them. Had one before I left the hotel, another while I was standing in the line to get into the Brooklyn Bowl.
What?
Yeah.
Out in public?
On public. You're allowed to drink in public.
That's true.
Up and down the strip.
Land of the degenerates.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, it's a beautiful place.
It was. I mean, there's windows. You go up to a window and you grab a drink and you just walk up and down the street, and
it's a great place.
It is a great place. You were sorely missed.
Yeah. So what is the format of this show? I don't really understand quite what it is. I know it's like a DJ.
Yeah,
playing...
so it's a DJ playing all the greatest emo and pop punk and, I don't know, screamo and some post-hardcore type music. So it's like spans all the genres, right?
Mm.
And you'd be proud. It was the first time I ever went into a mosh pit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you mean the first time?
I've never been in a mosh pit before. I've always been mosh pit adjacent.
I've seen you go into one.
No, you haven't.
It was a grog shop. You looked at me and said, I gotta get in there.
No, I don't
Yes,
think
you
so.
did!
Wait, what show was this?
It was the night that Taylor Acorn was there.
Oh, you're talking about With Confidence?
Yeah.
No, I think I was just pushing people. I never.
That's what a mosh pit is.
No. But like in a mosh pit, you like get in and you move around. I was on the edge, just pushing people.
I saw you get in there for maybe not long.
And that's also the night I think I killed someone. Remember? That was the same night.
Well,
wasn't
you almost got banned from mosh pits, or at least crowd surfing.
No,
at the very least.
We've talked about this before. I've tried to warn that woman. So we're all over the place today. But, so With Confidence, this was almost a year ago, right?
Yeah.
The girl motions to me. She looks at me because I'm 6'2", and she looks at me and she's like,
Uppy?
Up. Yeah, exactly. Gave me the eyes. Up, and I'm like, no, we're not doing this. I'm not doing this tonight. And then she tapped me on the shoulder again, and he said, okay, we're gonna do it. So I picked her up, launched her over. I thought somebody else had her. Straight up nosedive.
Yeah, over is the operative term.
Yeah,
it's
it
like
was
you
over
threw
for
over
her.
a fence. Oh man,
it's like a shot put, just right over.
Yeah, she's dead.
Yeah.
So you got into a mosh pit.
Yeah, so I got into a mosh pit. It was, I'm trying to think of who it was. So let's back up a little bit more. So we get into the Brooklyn Bowl, and I'm not sure if I'm going to stay the whole time. I'm like, all right, I've got this ticket. It was pretty inexpensive. I just want to experience it. And I met these 2 girls in line who I started chatting with. Yeah, you know, it's when you look this good, it's hard not to attract.
I mean,
women.
You either love her or hate them.
Yeah.
Let's see where these girls land.
So anyway, we're talking in line. We get in, and I basically tell the one girl, I'm like, "Hey, I'm here by myself, so I'm just gonna stand by you guys.
Good line.
If I'm too awkward, you just walk away. It's fine."
Good line.
But ended up hanging with them, getting some drinks. Some more of their friends showed up, and their one buddy. He just was like, he was in Shot City. I mean, he just was like, everybody needs shots. I mean, just kept loading us up.
We've all met a guy.
I bought a couple. He was a ton of fun. Everybody was a lot of fun. So I get to the point. So now it starts at, I don't know, whatever, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock their time, which is now 2 o'clock our time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fresh from the East Coast.
Yeah.
And it's just shots and shots and shots. I don't get back to the hotel room until 3 o'clock Pacific time or whatever time zone.
You would have had.
So it's like 6 a.m.
Oh no.
our time.
You would have had your robe on hours prior.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I love how you're like, I'm gonna have a tone setting shot,
And it set the tone.
And this guy just sniffed it out.
Yeah,
Said,
he knew.
That's my guy.
Yeah, he's like, this guy's either gonna black out tonight or he's gonna go home early.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I blacked out, but I've probably been the closest I've been in a long time.
Wow, you really So just so you know, fellow listeners, I'm hearing this all for the first time too.
Yeah, that's true.
I've
kept it all secret.
I've
been bursting at the seams to tell Ethan.
It's been just unloading on strangers because he hasn't told me yet. But we've deliberately not gotten into all these details yet because we wanted to do it all fresh here. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of blown away.
Good. I hope you're experiencing some FOMO. So for next year,
extreme FOMO.
I better start. I started working on you to come to this year's concert 6 months ago.
It's a 2-year sales cycle. I don't know what to tell you.
So yeah, we're entering into that beginning of the second year to get you there.
So I need to know more about this mosh pit.
Yeah, so
I love a good mosh pit.
Oh, you know what it was? It was System of a Down that got me into the mosh pit.
Which one?
Like
the big song?
Yeah.
Why am I blanking on it as well?
I don't think you trust in
Yeah.
that one.
I feel embarrassed that
I know. We're in a music podcast. And I can't name one of the most popular songs
the song
of
we're
the
talking.
last 20 years. Why'd you put your keys up on the table? I wanted to. So yeah, that got me in, and then I think after that,
Chop Suey.
Yeah.
Jeez, sorry, that was.
We've just lost so many listeners during this podcast; it's ridiculous.
We did have a whole System of a Down contingent of our listenership.
We took a poll of the 12 listeners, and 9.5 of them are System of a Down.
12, it's 13.
Okay,
you're rounding down again.
I know.
You're rounding down again.
Trying to really promote us.
So that got you into the mosh pit. Was your group involved, or did you say,
"Yeah,
my shot,
the guy
I'm
Jose,
going"?
he came in.
I bet he sounds like.
Yeah, he was all about it.
He's that guy.
And then the two girls, Taryn and Amber, they stayed over there. Shout out to them. Shout out to all those guys, because thanks for including me. It was a lot of fun.
What was the guy's name?
Jose.
Jose sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Was this an all-dude mosh pit?
No, there were some girls in there.
Respect.
Couple.
Yeah.
But it got a little rough in that part. I mean, there was mosh pit for other parts of emo night, but that one was probably the most hardcore. I saw a dude get punched. Literally punched. I mean, so I was thinking while I'm watching this mosh pit, I'm like, there are moshers from all over the country that have different methods of moshing, right? Like us nice Midwesterners, we just, we shove and we push and we bounce off of each other. There must be some like hardcore like East Coast or West Coast contingent where they were just all fists.
Oh yeah.
All fists. And I saw a guy literally get punched right square in the face. And the cool thing though is the guy was like phased, but then he looked at the guy that punched him and the guy was like apologetic.
Yeah.
So he's doing the hardcore moves, but he was nicely, in a nice manner.
So it wasn't like an altercation, it was just a guy slam dancing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Throwing the haymakers.
Which you get what you get.
Yeah, I mean it's funny to think like when we were young, it's all the best mosh pitters in the country. One city, it's the one weekend, sometimes spread across 2, but it's weird.
Yeah, it's the Mosh Pit World Championship.
And yeah, styles make fights.
Yeah, and if somebody doesn't know that it's all about slam dancing, and this guy's a Midwestern push mosher.
Yeah, well, like you said, like they were playing hits that span different genres, but all adjacent genres.
Oh yeah,
whether it's
all
emo, screamo, post-hardcore, etc.
Yeah.
So if you got someone there who's skewing more hardcore than others, it's like, what do you mean? This is a mosh pit. This is how we do it.
What we do.
And then you're there with your Midwestern sensibilities, like, what do you mean? This is a mosh pit.
Yeah.
This is how we do it. we've all got slightly different rules in our heads for how it should work, and but mosh pits always tend to figure themselves out.
Yeah, but it was fun, and so in 2 songs, I was like more gassed than I've been in any workout in the last probably 5 years. Like in a weird way, like your whole body, the lactic acid buildup, you're just like buzzing, like almost to the point where you have such like a tunnel vision, like an adrenaline dump, and you just like afterwards you're just looking around and you're like, where am I? I don't even know what just happened.
It's an out of body experience. It really is. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I figured that in your younger days you had gotten into some mosh pits.
No, never.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, now
I've always been adjacent.
my FOMO will peak here. You won't be able to top this.
Yeah.
We'll see. Though I know there's some people that you met and some interesting stories to come, but we'll see if you can top this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anything else to add about your crazy freaking night one?
So UNI Brooklyn is legit. I mean, it's a lot of fun. They're totally pros. I guess they've been doing it for 6 or 7 or 8 years, something like that. So and it's all over the country. I mean, they have simultaneous nights in different parts of the country, different like endorsed DJs. But this was like the main one. And had some cool guests. One guy from Hot Mulligan, two guys from Newfound Glory, one guy from American Pie.
Jason Biggs?
No, not Jason Biggs.
Which guy does what's he look like?
I always forget his real name. He had the dark curly hair.
Dark curly hair.
Yeah. Well, he has dark curly hair now. I think it's was short in the movie.
Was he one of Jason Biggs' friends?
Yeah.
Oh, Finch?
Not Finch.
Not Shipwreck.
Oh no, Finch. Maybe it was Finch.
Stifler's mom.
No.
No.
No. Shipwreck is Finch.
Yeah. Dark
dark
curly hair.
The other friend.
Like what? Oh. You
might
mean
have to IMDb this.
Tara Reid's boyfriend?
I don't remember. I haven't seen.
Shorter guy.
Yeah, shorter guy.
He was there?
Yeah. And he played a couple songs. I guess
he's a musician
too. Yeah, played a couple songs like on his guitar. Did a rendition of Stacy's mom, but it was Stifler's mom.
Yeah.
So a lot of throwbacks to the movie. It was great.
I would have lost my
Cool.
mind.
I feel like such a jerk when I don't remember people's names.
Kevin.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Kevin. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I don't
man.
mean to. I just.
What? I don't expect you to remember his name.
Yeah.
No offense, but like I don't know. I don't know what he's done after that.
I hope he doesn't watch this.
I mean, for the record, I would have lost my mind. I would have geeked out. I would have been a fangirl for him.
Yeah, because I do regret when we first walked in. He was standing by his like merch table. He had like
what?
Yeah,
he's like a traveling musician.
Yeah, and I didn't go up to him and talk to him. I should have. I was a little too focused. I was a little tired, a little buzzed, a little all over the place. So my wits weren't about me. I saw him.
This is jarring.
Yeah.
If he tours in any capacity, I want to see this.
Yeah, I don't know if he does.
I want to talk to him. American Pie means a lot to me.
Does it?
Maybe too much.
I think it might be where I first. No, it couldn't have been the first heard Blink-182, but
every time I look for you.
Yeah, that one.
American Pie 2.
Yeah,
they're driving up to the
lake.
They're
actually in the first movie.
Oh, that's
when
right.
They're all watching Jim and what's her name? Nadia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that quick cutaway where they're sitting in
American Pie is why I like pop punk music.
Yeah, I mean it was really what brought a lot of people to the table.
We discussed it at length. Their boy Snowy Elliott.
Yeah, that's right.
Man, what a great night one!
It was a great night one.
How are you going to top this? So you get back to
the hotel. There
are
are parts of the story that I will not be putting on the podcast, but can regale you in stories.
Just whisper
later.
Now. The mic won't catch you.
Yeah.
Just go ahead.
Yeah, this fancy new microphone.
Just go ahead. No. It sucks. Yeah. Just tell me.
Nope, I think we're good. So
you get back to the hotel 3
We'll definitely go to emo night.
So where were you staying at?
The Luxor, so the giant pyramid-shaped hotel on the Strip.
Very cool.
Ended up sharing the room with two other guys. It was my room that I had arranged. So I told the other guys they could stay with me, but I was not sharing a bed.
Oh, one of them being.
Yeah, I don't think he really wants us talking about him on the podcast.
But who was the other guy?
A buddy of his.
Oh,
who
okay.
I met at the Wonder Years like 2 weeks ago. So I knew him, but not like, hey, how you doing? What do you do? Where do you live? Like the kind of basic stuff.
Yeah.
But super cool guy. I had a lot of fun, hanging out with those guys.
Good cuddlers, or?
Well, that was my stipulation. Did not want to cuddle. So
They didn't want to. But
I did not want to.
I figured you'd be adamant.
I know.
Okay.
I need any action I can get, right?
And but they didn't go to emo night?
They did not. They went to the Saturday festival.
Oh, yeah.
So I kept trying to get them to come out after emo night because I was still hanging out with that group, and we were going to different places. And they were, by the time I got back at 3 a.m. Pacific, 6 a.m. Cleveland time, they were passed out. And I couldn't believe it. When I woke up, I felt fine.
Adrenaline, that post mosh pit, PMP adrenaline.
Got a little tired after breakfast, was not feeling like perfect. And I wouldn't say I was back to totally perfect until after like lunchtime.
Yeah.
But definitely felt a lot better than I thought I was going to feel. I may have still been drunk. That's probably why.
100% still drunk.
Yeah. I'm hungover.
For the sake of recounting everything that happened, can we give those two aliases? Cheese and burger.
Yeah,
Cheese.
sure. Cheese and burger.
Cheese will be, and then burger.
Yeah. Okay.
So you get it. Okay.
I guess.
So when do you wake up the next day?
So the festival started at 11, I think. And first band went on at 11:15. Gates were at like 11, but they opened them up a little bit earlier. I had wanted to be there by like 10:30 to get in line and get to the first set. We didn't get there until 11. Traffic was nuts. They have this F1 race coming up in Vegas where tons of roads are shut down. The strip is a mess. Traffic is crazy. So because they're doing all this, all this building of all the raceways and stands and all that stuff. So we were a little behind schedule, but still made it for the first band, which was Phoenix TX. They were on the main stage, I think the pink stage.
How many stages?
There were 4 stages this year. There were 5 last year. I wish there were still 5 because it would have opened up more opportunity to see a few more bands, I think. Just because things would have been staggered a little bit more. But they had done it in a way where there was only 5 minutes between each band on every stage.
Wow.
Yeah, it was incredible. I had to take a video of how they had it set up. It was a rotating stage on every stage. They set up bands behind. The one band would finish, and literally minutes later, it's rotating around.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, and then another band started playing.
That's
It was
capitalism at its finest.
It was
That's
a
beautiful.
very tight schedule. So if you wanted to go that 5 minutes, if you wanted to go from the Ghost stage, which was on the far end, back to the main stages, I mean, you had a haul ass.
Wow. A road.
But yeah, it was super cool. I only saw one band really take advantage of the rotating stage where they started playing as it rotated. Like, what an awesome intro.
Yeah.
They just start playing, it comes around, and then the first song starts up.
Oh, I thought you were saying like the band's up there playing and they start rotating, and then you see the band on the other side of the circle tuning their instruments. But like most bands, they tune their instruments naked, and they're like, "Oh no,
You got us.
You weren't supposed to do that."
Yeah, I mean, that's why I went, was for the all male full frontal nudity.
Yeah, gratuitous.
Yeah, gratuitous.
So I know that it'd be difficult to
Socks only.
It'd be difficult to talk in detail about every single set that
Yeah.
you saw, but we got a few fun categories here. We're gonna talk about best set. We're gonna talk about the sets that you regret missing the most. We're gonna talk about surprises.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about cool surprise guests. we're going to get your takes on Blink and how it compares to
Yeah.
seeing them earlier in the year. But why don't we start with best sets, the ones that really stood out for you?
So best sets, and I knew these sort of going in, that I knew that they're just top bands that I had to see again, or for the first time. Like there were a couple bands on this little short list that I've never seen before. Actually, all of them except for one I had not seen before. So one of the top bands for the whole festival for me was No Pressure, which we've talked about before. I got to see them in Columbus back in, was that May? Unbelievable set. Crowd was great. Their sound is like just raw and dirty and what punk music should be. I mean, that's what comes to mind when I think of punk music, is a band like No Pressure. So awesome to see them again. They delivered in a huge way.
So where are you at in the crowd? Help me kind of visualize it.
So I had a VIP ticket, which I was able to be in certain VIP areas. So at the main stage this year, they had it split up. So there's two stages, the pink and the green stage. And the big side where the VIP area is the pink stage. And then on the other side was the green stage. But to get between those two VIP areas, you got to go all the way around the huge GA area to get to the other area, other VIP area. So it was not a good setup to go back and forth between those two main stages. Now you could see both stages from either one of those VIP areas at the main stage, but just you're not that close. So I didn't really like that setup. Last year it was one big VIP area that sort of spanned the right side and the left side. I hope that they go back to that next year, because it was a huge advantage to the VIP people. Now it probably sucked for the GA people, but I don't know. I mean,
That's why you
pay for VIP, I guess.
Yeah.
Not to be too snobby, but whatever.
What's the mosh pit situation in VIP for No Pressure? Because we know that when you saw No Pressure, it was a smaller venue in Columbus. Crazy mosh pit.
Yeah, crazy mosh pit. In the VIP area, so they were at the different stages. It wasn't like a crazy mosh pit. There were people jumping around and dancing, but not like a violent mosh pit. Because when I saw them in Columbus, that was like a violent mosh pit. This was not. This was more hanging out, more jumping around, a lot of excited people. So a little bit more subdued.
Okay.
It was also like 85 degrees, so I was not feeling like moving a lot.
And people got to play the long game.
Right. Yeah, gotta take it easy on the alcohol, drink lots of water, get some electrolytes, because that sun was intense.
And like, what's the access like to fluids? Like,
oh, it was everywhere. I mean,
everywhere.
when you
No
walked
issue.
into the venue, they handed out bottles of water to everybody.
That's great. That's good.
So, and then they had refill stations everywhere. You could pick up other bottles of water. If you were super bougie, you could buy the what's it called? That water, in the can.
Oh, Liquid Death.
Liquid Death.
That Liquid Death's everywhere.
Death.
So this wasn't like Woodstock '99.
No, there was
water
was
shortages.
not $10.
People dying from heat strokes.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like that. You got to think that's a good investment, right? To avoid all the ambulance runs and all the medics and everything.
Ambulances are expensive.
Yeah, I mean, they probably got a great deal on 25-cent bottles of water for everybody and just hand them out.
Easier than a bulk purchase of ambulance.
Yeah,
So no,
definitely.
so No Pressure was a standout set. What else?
Yeah,
stands
No
out?
Pressure was a huge standout. Something Corporate. I've seen Jack's Mannequin back in like 2004 or 5, but I hadn't ever seen Something Corporate. Something Corporate's been one of my favorite emo, piano-driven rock bands for a long time, since back in high school and college. The other one that I think sort of dovetails with them is Reliant K.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did they play Be My Escape?
They sure did.
Did your body
leave? Yeah, it escaped. My soul escaped from my body.
You existed on a new plane.
The cool thing too, they're from Canton. I think they live down in Nashville now.
I didn't know
but
that.
He was wearing a brown shirt on Sunday.
Didn't know he was Northeast Ohio guy.
Yeah. Northeast
Very
Ohio.
cool. Very cool.
I would think so. Two other. I'll talk more about the Academy is later, but their set was on fire. They were so good. Another one that surprised me how good they were, and again, this is probably one of my bands that kind of brought me into. I don't even know. When I was in high school, I went to a private school, so we weren't really allowed to be on computers during study halls or whatever. But if you signed up in the morning to go to the library, you could do whatever you wanted during your study hall.
Whatever,
so I would go
whatever you want.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
But I would always sign up because I never really had much homework to do, and I would just sit there. So I would go to the library. I'd get on the computers back in 2004, back on YouTube, and Finch was one of the bands that I discovered through that process of kind of cutting that study hall class, that period, and just listening to music.
Not to be confused with Shipwreck.
Not to be confused.
Not to be confused with Kevin.
Right. So Finch was unbelievable. It sounded just like the record. I mean, because there's a lot of singing right into screaming, and it was perfect. I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between live and the album. I don't know if they've toured, if they've played, if they've done anything in the last 10 years, but they should. I mean, they should get back on the road.
Well, they just popped up for your benefit.
And I'm okay with that, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was memorable. I took so many videos, and I forgot how many bangers they have. I knew they had a lot of songs that I liked, but then it was just one after another after another. I'm like, oh my God, I remember all of these songs.
You know what I think? I think you need to go back to that library.
Yeah.
Rev up that old computer. It's still got dial-up internet.
That's right. Probably.
You need to dig back on Finch and understand what happened between 2004 and 2023.
I have to dig through their Wikipedia, and
I'm excited for you to dig into the discography.
Yeah, I need to.
So those are some of the best sets. Any others?
Well, let me say, I think the best of the best, a band that I've wanted to see since, again, back in the day, was Saves the Day.
Ooh, I mean, they are foundational.
They are foundational for me. I mean, absolutely. I mean, lots of memories associated with their music. Another band that sort of brought me into the genre, and perfect set. I mean, everything musically was just right on. I mean, and I think I may need to stop saying that about bands, because these bands are pros at this point. That's their livelihood. That's who they are as their musicians. So of course they're going to be good. But still, just absolutely blown away by Saves the Day. And again, they're another band. I don't think they've really toured much. They've kind of played one-offs. Reliant K has kind of played one-offs here and there. These are bands that, from that genre, actually, and all these bands are kind of the same. Save the Day, Reliant K, Something Corporate. Those three bands, that'd be an awesome lineup. They dovetail together. Everyone would go absolutely insane for those three. And it'd be like a co-headlining tour, not even an opener and a headliner. They're all
three
top tier headliners.
That's pretty cool. You got to see Saves the Day. I mean, you read any oral history of the emo scene, and they are right there, chapter one. You can't tell the story of emo music without Saves the Day. For sure. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we mentioned earlier, it's a tight schedule. There's 4 stages. You have 1 day. 4 stages, 1 day, roughly 12 hours. You can't see everybody.
5 minutes apart.
I want to know about the sacrifices.
Yeah, so I did have to make some sacrifices. Probably the biggest sacrifice, a band maybe I will never see, is Say Anything. I don't think they have plans to tour. I could be wrong, but I've never really seen them come through our neck of the woods in the Midwest. So they were a big one. Another one I couldn't see was Less Than Jake. They were just in Cleveland, and I didn't go to that show either. So I kind of thought, I won't go in Cleveland. I'll go see them in Las Vegas, and that didn't work out.
I thought they're your ska guys, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So you're not a ska guy?
I mean, I enjoy some ska. I don't love like underground ska, I guess.
You're more of America's Funniest Home Videos
Yes.
ska
Did you see
guy.
that meme?
Yeah.
Did I send that to you?
Either you sent it or Buddy Mark sent it.
Oh, you listen to ska? Yeah. Who? Less Than Jake, Real Big Fish. No, the 1995 classic, America's Funniest Home Videos. That's a great meme. Joyce Manor, I was disappointed to miss them, but they scheduled a lot of these smaller bands that I wanted to see during the headliners. So during 30 Seconds to Mars, who, if I didn't see them at this show, I don't know. I mean, they tour, but not a lot. So when would I see them? Same thing, with The Offspring, Green Day, and then Blink. I wasn't going to miss Blink. So unfortunately, I had to sacrifice them.
Sorry to cut you off. You haven't seen them live yet?
I have not seen Joyce Manor live.
That'll be a fun one for us. We'll catch them.
Yeah, they tour regularly, so I feel bad about it, but at the same time, I will see them again.
We'll have our moment with them.
Yeah. Were they touring with Michigander? Or
sounds right.
Yeah, I think there was a show that we want. Oh, that was that winter festival that we missed them at.
Yeah, we'll catch them again.
Yeah, we will. Only saw part of Sum 41, but I know that they're going to be going on tour this summer, so we'll definitely catch them.
They are?
Yeah, this is
because they just toured this last summer.
They toured this last summer, then announced that they're breaking up.
Right.
And they're going on one final tour this upcoming summer. I don't think it's totally announced yet, but supposedly.
That's good news.
So we'll definitely go see them this summer.
Yes, we will.
I'm sure that'll be a Blossom show.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one, again, don't tour a lot, but Good Charlotte.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I know, but Good Charlotte was playing at the same time as Reliant K and Save the Day. So it's like, I think I made the right choice.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I think there'll be other chances.
Yeah, I
See
think so
them.
too. So all in all, I think I did okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's music's cool, but what about things that surprised you about the day that were non-music related? For our non-music fans that are listening.
Yeah, there's lots of this is mostly a non-music podcast.
There's droves of them listening. Like, when are they gonna get to the non-music topics?
Stop talking about music.
Ugh.
So food was great this year.
Yeah.
I had a couple things. I had these like little steamed Asian like dumplings, but it was like pizza on the inside.
That sounds good.
It was so good. And it was just what I needed at like 3:00 when I was just about running out of gas.
How were the lines for food?
Not bad.
Nice.
I don't know about in the GA area, but the VIP area had their own.
You mean with the
food.
peasants?
Yeah.
Surprised you even like stood for the shows. You didn't sit on your throne.
Right. Have like 4 people carry me on one of those like platforms with the chair on it.
I'm glad that your pizza dumplings were good.
Those were good. And then the best food, and so at the end of the show, I'm like, I'm exhausted. I'm done. I don't even know if I'm going to make it back to the hotel. I need to grab some other food, something late night. I'm either going to eat here or I'm going to order something from room service when I get back to the hotel.
Yeah.
And I'm just walking around the food vendor area, and the end of the night, I think everybody at that point was probably watching, I think it was during Green Day. Like I had left the crowd area and I had to go find some food during Green Day. But there were some of the vendors, it was the end of the night, they're closing up shop and they're just handing out food.
Oh yeah.
It was awesome. So I had this great like jerk chicken.
Ooh.
Oh man, it was exactly what I needed. A little spice,
Yeah, baby.
some saltiness, chicken. It was cooked perfectly.
The saltiness really like hits
Yeah.
after a long day in
You
the
need
heat.
those electrolytes back in your body.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Yeah, so it was just what I needed. So
Feels-
non-music, best perk was that. The merch was a lot better this year. So I had major problems with the merch last year. It was absolute garbage. No understatement.
What was the main issue?
Quality of the screen printing and quality of the shirts that they used.
Who's they? Because isn't it the bands?
Well,
printing?
there's the bands that have their own merch area.
Yeah.
And then there's the festival. So like your lineup t-shirts and sweatshirts and things like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know about the band's merch, but in my experience, band merch is actually good stuff.
Right.
Soft, supple,
Supple
comfortable to wear.
is what I'm looking
That's
for.
what I want in a t-shirt.
That's what I want in a man too.
Yeah.
But what were you saying?
They stepped it up this year. So last year, literally, I wore these two shirts once, washed them. The sleeves went from a normal length up to, the length where it's like right at your shoulder. The screen printing was crappy to begin with. There was like all kinds of pock marks in it. Like they were using the screen too much without adding more ink to it. Washed those, they faded right away. This year, the shirts were heavier. I bought a sweatshirt also. Cooler designs. I was kind of limited with the designs last year.
But a sweatshirt? That's like going to the grocery store in the winter and buying ice cream. Or buying...
You don't eat ice cream in the winter?
I'm looking for a better example here.
I didn't wear it that day.
It's like buying something for a summer barbecue in the winter. It's just like, who has the wherewithal to know, like, yeah, I'm sweating right now, but I will need that.
But I'm going back to Ohio. And when I get back, it's going to be 50 degrees. Prime crew neck sweatshirt weather in Cleveland, Ohio.
For the record, I occasionally eat ice cream in the winter.
And I know I'm going to be going to shows in the winter. Probably don't want to take a full winter coat into the venue.
No.
But I want a nice, cool, trendy sweatshirt.
It'll give you some cushion for all the mosh pits you're going to be in now.
Set the precedent.
Tell me you've got the itch. But for real though, you got the itch? A little bit?
I will now.
A little bit?
I will now. Yeah.
It is really about breaking the seal. Because, I felt lucky. Like my first one, it was basically around like my first most pretty hardcore concert. So I just kind of got lunged right in because I thought like, well, nobody's standing in this perfect spot right here in the middle. No wrong. I'm really excited now.
Yeah.
Hotelier concert.
I think there's gonna be some good moshing there.
Yeah. It'll be like really passionate sing along mosh pit.
Okay.
It'll be good. It'll be communal.
All right.
You'll enjoy yourself.
So the merch was much better this year.
So you stacked up on your merch. You got your free Caribbean jerk chicken.
Yeah.
You're flying.
Couldn't be better. All the free water I could have.
Let's.
I only drank one alcoholic beverage all day because I was still kind of. Yeah, I know. I was kind of recovering still from the night before. I felt fine, but I knew I just couldn't start hammering booze.
Yeah.
The weather, everything.
Yeah, the weather's really almost prohibitive.
Yeah, and I wanted to make sure I was hydrated and back to prime levels before I started taking all that away again with alcohol.
I guess I could talk my trash now. Like my instinct is that I would probably have 3 to 5 throughout the course of 12 hours. But I don't know. Maybe the heat hits me and I think differently.
Yeah. And the drink I had was a beatbox. So I had heard horror stories about beat boxes from last year. They're like adult juice boxes. They're like 12% alcohol.
Oh.
And I'd never seen them before last year's festival.
The stabby straw?
No, just like the twist lock cap, like a milk carton kind of, and like one of those.
Okay.
But they have the flavors like blue raspberry or
a beatbox.
Or sweet tea, things like that.
Was that a letdown or a pleasant surprise?
Actually, I had the sweet tea one. That was pretty good.
Okay. Pleasant surprise.
I'm not normally like a blue raspberry guy, so
Yeah.
on anything. So not that it was bad or would have been bad, but it just wouldn't have been my number one choice.
Okay.
But did a nice job. 12% alcohol.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
That'll do something.
Yeah. So I didn't even drink that until 30 Seconds to Mars.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 bands before the end of the festival.
Wow. Look at you. I think that says less about your abstinence and more about how supremely drunk you were the night before.
I was off the rails.
You were on another level. You were unbelievable. You were a legend.
I was a legend.
So now that we've satisfied our non-music fans and our music fans have fast forwarded times plus 30, plus 30, plus 30.
Anything except music.
Were there any other...
I want to know all these surface level reviews about these musicians.
Whoa, we're getting... call it non-music, but it is not surface level. We are getting in depth on the things that matter.
Yeah.
Were there... before we get off the whole surprise thing, were there any other pleasant musical surprises?
From the bands or like guests?
Bands. Like comparable to Finch. Like Finch was a pleasant surprise.
So I saw her on the poster on the lineup.
Who?
I'm trying to lead into this a little bit.
I need to know who now.
And I'm a little on the fence. I'm like, okay, I get it. Like she kind of dovetails into the emo and solid lyric driven rock.
Wait, let me take
And I'm
a
like,
guess who you're talking about.
Why is she on this festival?
You're talking about...
I wasn't hating.
It was Lisa Loeb.
No.
It
was Michelle Branch.
Oh.
And I gotta tell you, she just destroyed it. She was so good.
She's Michelle Branch.
Everybody on the forums that I'm reading before the festival is giving her so much crap. Oh, why is she there? Everybody's gonna be at a different stage, and her stage is gonna be empty. That stage was packed.
Yeah.
Us emo kids, we needed some Michelle Branch.
She's everywhere.
She's everywhere.
The Tree of Life spawned Michelle Branch.
Right.
All right. She means a lot.
She does. And she was incredible.
How's she looking?
Oh, she's looking great.
Good for you, Michelle.
Real good. Yeah. Yep.
Wow. I'm talking about FOMO.
I know. It has something for everybody at this festival.
Nothing against any of the bands you just mentioned. I'd love to see all of them, but Michelle Branch is right up there.
Yeah.
And also American Pie 2 memories.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know she just finished up a tour, but I don't think she came anywhere near Ohio. I mean, was it mostly a West Coast tour? So maybe she does tour, but it's only West Coast or only like East Coast. But,
That would be unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, that would be a letdown, but I'm glad you got that pleasant surprise.
So that was a nice big surprise there.
Were there, I think you mentioned earlier that there were surprise guests during sets. How does that even work?
So have you seen the, so they'll like, the bands will be playing, they'll bring somebody up or like a guest singer, like, duet or something. One of the coolest ones, and I'm sure you've seen the meme of Tony Hawk up there with Less Than Jake singing Superman. They did that.
I did not.
Yeah, they did that. I don't know, I saw the first video maybe like 6 or 8 months ago, and then they brought him up at the festival, and they also had a little like X Games area where Tony Hawk was also doing tricks on a skateboard.
That's sweet.
But only on Saturday, not on Sunday. They did have other athletes there, but I mean, Tony Hawk is the OG, so
he's that guy.
Yeah. So that was great. So that was really cool. Lil Wayne was there.
Yeah.
He came up with Good Charlotte.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that.
But you missed that.
And he performed a Millie. I did miss it. I only heard about it after the fact, so a little FOMO there.
That sounds pretty cool.
But I did see a Lil Wayne concert when he toured with Blink-182 in 2018.
Such an interesting
Matt
pairing.
Skiba from Alkaline Trio.
Yeah.
Instead of Tom. So
Alkaline Trio gonna be in Cleveland.
Yeah. Are we going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
March, I think.
Yeah, we got to get those tickets. For the second year in a row, special guest Steve Aoki was on the main stage.
Yeah.
Last year he was up there with Taking Back Sunday for their newly released single, collaboration.
They also just recently released that album, by the
I know,
way.
the album's good. I wouldn't say it's the best album, but it's solid. I mean, we heard a couple songs when we saw them at Sad Summer.
Yeah.
Sold.
Yeah,
solid.
The singles are quite good.
Yeah.
They've still got it.
Yeah, for sure. And then Steve Aoki came up this year with 30 Seconds to Mars. So that was cool. Avril Lavigne was there. I forget who she went up and performed with. Maybe it was All Time Low. I know she does stuff with them. She did a DJ set, I think on Friday night.
Avril
at
Lavigne?
a club. Yeah.
Hard to imagine.
Well, she does some songs with Illenium, which Illenium was in Cleveland. We didn't go to that. But I'll have to send you a couple of the songs. But she collaborates. I mean, you got to think when you're at that level, you're collaborating a lot. So you're exploring genres that you're interested in. Maybe it's not like the genre you're founded in.
I can imagine that. What I'm struggling to imagine is Avril Lavigne being behind the booth, being the life of the party.
Well, I heard that she was only on stage for like 3 songs. Like, she was on the bill. She was what sold everybody to go there. And in like typical rock star fashion, shows up late, performs for like 15 minutes, and then collects her check and leaves.
Yeah, Big Mac gets you in the door, but you leave with a quarter pounder with cheese.
Yeah, so that's what I had heard. I don't know if it's true, but I had heard that. So anyway, she was there, I think with All Time Low, because I know she's performed with them in the past.
Okay. And then, Blink.
Yeah.
So we saw them earlier this
Back
year.
in May. That was the 4th stop on their U.S. tour this year.
That was a big day for us.
Early on, and then When We Were Young was the last date on this tour.
You've seen it all. You saw them come full circle, and then literally 2 days after they released the new album, right?
Yeah, they released that on Friday, and then I saw them on Sunday.
Have you listened to the album yet?
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's great.
It's everything I want in a Blink-182 album.
It's really, I'm pretty blown away that, these guys are all 50 or more, pushing 50, and they really push themselves.
I think so.
Musically. Like, they simultaneously stay true to what got them here, but they push the boundaries a little bit rhythmically, melodically, lyrically, maybe more than anything else.
Yeah.
On what we think they are. And they made new sounds.
They did. But a lot of callbacks too. Like, you can isolate some melodies that were in previous songs, are very similar to previous songs.
For sure.
Which is cool. I think it brings people back in, but also it's new, so it's not like on the nose, which is great. But then also they had the one comedy track, like they always do, which is hilarious.
It's like 23 seconds song.
Yeah, I
just
love its
vulgarity.
Not PC at all, which is what the Blink-182 that I love.
And it was a 19-song album. And, that includes that short one, but it was a beefy 50-minute LP.
Yeah, and it's cool because they released the first single a year ago.
Yeah.
I remember it was right before the festival last year they released it.
Right, because they used it as like a promotional tool to promote the tour. And
then like everything. A month ago they released 2 more songs and everybody's crying, on One More Time. I mean, that song is unbelievable. Actually, Mark, you could see on stage he was crying. That was their encore, so they're the last encore song.
Yeah.
And literally, like, I think they all take those lyrics to heart.
Yeah. That's so cool.
And very emotional because you could see he was like wiping his eyes.
So they clearly the set list when we saw them in May, I imagine pretty different.
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, we saw a lot of really cool like videos and graphics behind the band back in May. Same stuff. I mean, same videos and graphics, but they did play 3 new songs.
Okay.
So it was slightly different. I'd have to look at the order. I'm not sure if the order was the same. I don't think it was. But they have to play all the hits. I like to think of When We Were Young as like a festival where any band really shouldn't be playing their new stuff. Maybe one song, I guess, but it should all be the stuff, the callbacks, the stuff from 2003 to 2009 or 2002 to 2009.
It's a nostalgia fest.
Yeah,
we know what this is. We're not being subtle about it. It's literally in the name.
Yeah. Now, I don't think, like some of the smaller bands, I was looking back at set lists. I mean, they only played 6 songs. Yeah. They had 20 to 25 minutes. So really, you shouldn't be playing any new songs. You should be playing all the hits. Mm-hmm. The things that people want to hear.
Well, of course, if you're a lesser known band that's there, you're trying to grab as many fans as you can in a short amount of time. Yeah. Everybody's putting their best foot forward. But that's still cool that you got to hear 3 new songs with the album. Yep. Because we just had heard Edging. Yeah. Back when we saw them in May, but you got the encore with One More Time. I assume Edging was still in there.
Edging was still
there.
Fun,
bouncy song.
And then the third one was the Dance. No, was it Dance? The name of it?
Dance with Me. Or
Dance with Me. Yeah. Which
that's an upbeat
fun
one.
Song.
Yeah, that'd be good for a mosh pit.
You know what my favorite song on that album I think though is I don't know, I think it's the actual name, but the Turpentine. That song is a banger. Absolute banger.
I think that's I've saved several to my best of 2023 candidates playlist.
Candidates. Nothing's official yet. Hold on, everybody.
Everything goes through a rigorous review. Turpentine didn't make it on the first pass, but I remember being intrigued by it. But yeah, Anthem Part 3, Dance with Me, More Than You Know, One More Time, obviously. Bad News. Bad News is actually like a back...
Which one is Bad News?
It's like back half of the album.
Okay.
I'm going to play it.
Yeah.
Let's get us to...
Oh, yeah.
I love how it starts out like this, subverts you a little bit.
Yeah.
But then... Let's love Mark's voice.
Man. Yeah, he's got a great voice. Both of their voices have a place, I mean, in the music. And then there's Travis with the unbelievable...
The drums are just insane, the whole entire album. So that's just so cool, man, that you got to see them post-album twice in 1 year. Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely feeling some FOMO about that. So looking back on the bands that you saw, the stuff that you really enjoyed, who are the bands that you'd want to see tour this general area within like the next year that we'll go and see?
I think that I sort of named it already. Saves the Day, Reliant K, Something Corporate. Like that'd be a really nostalgic. I mean, Something Corporate and Andrew McMahon, they're so big now. Like I don't know if they would do that. Mm-hmm. But also then adding the Academy Is, I feel like those 4 bands would sell out everywhere. I mean, I think any of them could sell out sort of mid-range clubs in any city. But together, I think they could upper, like an Agora, or even bigger than the Agora, like a Wolstein Center almost.
Yeah, maybe. Something Corporate, I actually don't know that much about them. Are they essentially at this point like Andrew McMahon's nostalgia band? They get back together for reunions?
That's the first band, that was his first band.
But they don't actively make music? Like he's doing his own projects.
Yeah. And actually, he was promoting... Behind the band at the festival, they were promoting I think it was a 3-day festival next spring where Something Corporate's going to play a set one night, then the next night is Jack's Mannequin, and then the third night is Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of cool that he's doing that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Jack's Mannequin again. But yeah, and I think those would be the 4 bands I'd want to see them go on tour. I think they'd fit together really well. Even some like arrangement of those 4, they'll fit together really well.
Yeah.
I hope No Pressure keeps touring. I'd love to see them again.
Oh, yeah,
I think anytime they come anywhere near, I would go see them.
Yeah, I got to see that.
Yeah.
Got to be there for that.
The other one...
Michelle Branch.
Obviously Michelle Branch. Finch, I think I mentioned that earlier. It would be really cool if they went on tour, but I don't know if they could sell out places, like bigger places. They might be more of a May Halls or like a grog shop type venue.
Okay, we'd love that.
Yeah, so real intimate, a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, not to be too negative, but these it's a fest.
Yeah.
You see a lot of sets, a lot of things happen. There must have been something where,
I don't even want to say.
and it's not always the fault of the band, right? It's sometimes just the fault of our expectations.
Yeah.
Was there anything where you expected something up here and then you got down here?
Yeah, I blame myself mostly.
I blame you for a lot of things.
I know.
I'm with you.
But I was so tired. I was so exhausted, over it. My feet were killing me from standing all day and not moving. Muscle cramps, the whole deal. But that's part of it. The other part, I just did not. There was so much filler for Green Day's set. I was really disappointed. I mean, I know their gimmick is they have, somebody running around on stage at the very beginning, the rabbit. But
the rabbit again? That was Blink's thing.
Yeah, well, I
What
think
is with this
Green
rabbit?
Day's thing first.
This rabbit punk thing.
Yeah, and so they played 2 long-form intro songs. That was not them playing at all. It was like Bohemian Rhapsody and I forget the other song. So we're waiting and waiting. And they have a 2-hour set. I mean, their set's 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be a long set already.
Yeah, buckle
And then
up.
they play one of the longest rock songs ever before their set. And then they do another song where this rabbit is running around, which is their gimmicky thing.
You
which is
sound
fine.
agitated by the rabbit.
I mean, this whole time, I'm like, they need to start playing because I got to get the hell out of here. I'm like, I'm just done. I'm just exhausted.
So what time is it? Is this like 10 o'clock? What is this?
So they went on at 10 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
And they played until like midnight.
Any residual buzz,
It was
adrenaline
gone.
you had from the previous
My
night?
feet were no longer numb from the beatbox.
It's essentially
They were just numb
it's essentially
from
1 a.m.
exhaustion.
for you.
Yeah. So, like I said, I blame myself, and I know they're going on tour, and I want to go to that tour. I want to see them again, and I want to see the Smashing Pumpkins, and I want to see Rancid. I mean, that's going to be
The three of them are touring together?
and the Linda Lindas,
Wow.
which the Linda Lindas are awesome too. They're like 17-year-old girls in this punk band, and they're phenomenal.
I'm surprised that didn't make your
virtuosos.
pleasant surprise list. I remember you mentioning them.
They played last year. No, I talked to you about the Veronicas. They played this
Oh,
year.
the Lindas,
Yeah.
the Veronicas. It's
Yeah.
all mixed up.
Yeah. So anyway, so they're going on tour this summer, which that's another show we need to make sure we go
Yeah.
to.
Oh, do you know
I
what
want
venue
to
they're
give them
doing?
a set. They haven't released any dates, any cities, anything other than it's happening.
I think they'll do the arena.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be Blossom or Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
And it's gonna sell out.
Yeah.
I mean, because the Smashing Pumpkins can do it by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Green Day can do it by themselves. And now they're 2 gigantic bands touring together.
But they're not quite. They couldn't sniff the stadium. That would be.
Together they could do the stadium. Plus,
I mean, they could fill it out. They could fill pieces, but it'd be a pared down
yeah,
setup.
they're no Machine Gun Kelly
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see the venues that they go to. But yeah, and like the set list was good for Green Day. A lot of filler, bringing up multiple kids. Like one kid up to sing some lyrics, another kid up to play the guitar, and then he gives the kid the guitar, which is all super cool and memorable. But then it's all like, hey, hey-oh, like all these choruses of heys and hey-ohs, and it's just like, dude, you gotta play the songs. Like, I'm dying out here. I'm about to die,
man.
literally.
Poor
Play the music.
Matthew.
I know, right?
Poor Matthew.
I know.
I mean, but
I get
I-
your sympathy.
You do get it from me because I would be unless I'm found my way into a mosh pit to just give me life, I'd be pretty grumpy by that point.
Oh, and nobody's moving. I mean, it is shoulder to shoulder.
Oh.
Nobody is moving because these are the headliners. This is what the people are there to see. So nobody wants to give up their spot. Nobody wants to elbow another person.
Yeah.
There's no activity at all. We're like standing at attention like soldiers watching these bands.
That's just the great irony of headliners in any form of entertainment like this. It's what you paid to see, but it's also what you're most exhausted for.
Yeah, and like I said, I blame myself for part of it, but it could have been a little tighter.
It's like saving French fries for last because you're like, I'll eat it no matter what, no matter how full I am. And that's what you think with headliners. Like, I don't care how tired I am.
It's a better analogy.
These are French fries. I'm going to love it no matter what. But
Even
sometimes,
if they're a little cold now.
but sometimes, if your stomach hurts bad enough, even French fries don't
I
hit.
just can't do it. So,
That's unfortunate to hear, but
but
we will redeem
I
ourselves.
think it was a one-off, right? Like, and it was a introspective issue.
It's
partly.
very unique to a festival setup and the quick
Yeah.
timeline by which you had traveled.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on here. So it's not that their Green Day is not the colossus that they are. I mean, they're unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I was talking to somebody else earlier this week that, in my opinion, there's two distinct Green Days. There's the Dookie Green Day up to American Idiot.
Yep.
So before American Idiot, it's all fun, punk, pop punk, just living your life, daily struggle kind of music.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of upbeat stuff. And then American Idiot, and after that, it's all politically driven.
Yeah.
Which they reinvented themselves in 2004. I mean, unbelievable. A lot of bands don't do that. But there's two different Green Days. I like the Green Day that's before American Idiot. Not that I don't like some songs on American Idiot, and even beyond that, but I like the playfulness and the fun and the tongue-in-cheek of the music before.
Mm-hmm.
And even their new album the new song, The American Dream, it's all a, politically charged confrontation on, our society. So it's fine. It's good music. They're amazing musicians, but it's just, I don't know. It's fine.
Well, like you said, there's two Green Days, and there's probably the Venn diagram of Green Day's fans has the fans that caught on in American Idiot and have stayed around.
Yeah.
And then there's the the Dookie fans, 94 to 03 essentially. And then there's overlap, of course, the lifers. But that is interesting for a band like them who is able to transcend and win over fans, win over the mainstream in two different generations, 2 different decades is wild.
Yeah.
Not common. It's really hard to say that about
Not even
a lot of rock.
Dookie came out in 92, and now we're 3 decades later. I mean, this is the 30-year anniversary of Dookie.
Yeah, I guess I just don't know how many
93.
new fans they're acquiring now, but
Yeah.
they captured the zeitgeist twice in 2 different decades.
Yeah.
Incredibly hard.
And I guess I had the advantage of, my dad liked Green Day in the 90s.
Weird.
Yeah.
Let's just acknowledge
And he's excited about the upcoming tour, so he's going to be with us on
How
that tour.
old was your dad when Dookie came out? Roughly. How old was
Probably 37.
he? No.
Yeah.
How do you reconcile this?
Oh, I'm cool with it.
I mean, it's incredibly cool.
He liked the Smashing Pumpkins. He liked Green Day. He liked The Offspring. I remember listening to Bad Habit with my older brother and my dad. I mean,
I just can't reconcile that a 37-year-old dad in the 90s was just taking on new music like water to a ship.
yeah, that's true.
That blows my mind.
If you're not into punk and you're listening to all the 80s, synth-driven rock, and then all of a sudden there's Green Day, and you're like, oh.
Forget what you like for a second. Just taking in any new music at age 37, you got a gaggle of kids running around.
Yeah.
Kudos to anyone.
Yeah.
Any dad, any
I'm
mom.
37. Just no gaggle of kids or a wife.
There's some rabbits out back.
Yeah, there's some rabbits, but gaggle of rabbits.
Not enough to keep you from wanting to see new
Yeah,
bands. Which
that's true.
Perfect segue. You've got a laundry list
I
of
did.
bands that you'd want to see at
Before you
Wembley.
came over, so they sent out the organizers sent out a email, a survey of who do you want to see.
Oh, I like that. That's cool.
And I haven't submitted yet, but before you came over, man, I just started going to town on this list. I mean, I've probably got 25 bands on here, 30 bands.
Not only did I not know you knew that many bands' names,
Yeah.
I didn't know you knew how to write that many words.
I know. Well, look at this chicken scratch. I mean, nobody can read that except for me. It's like a code.
So why don't you just throw some at us? Let's just do some. We'll just do some reactions here.
So bands that could have been on either this year or last year that are from the early mid 2000s that should be on the next one. We've got Cute Is What We Aim For, Midtown, Cobra Starship, Sugar Cult.
Cobra Starship's a fit?
I think so. I mean, 303 was there last year. They're kind of dance rock.
I'm surprised even 303 was there.
Yeah, and they were. I only saw a little bit of them last year, but they were awesome.
Okay.
So it's all adjacent. Like, it doesn't have to be emo. It doesn't have to be punk or pop punk. But it's kind of in that same.
It helps
era.
if it's from a similar era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from that era, then Real Big Fish, they'd be a great ska band to bring back. Brand New, the Get Up Kids.
Ooh, Get Up Kids would be great. I'd love to see them too.
Yeah. May, who I just saw a couple weeks ago. Cartel, Mest, Stray Light Run. I think Anne Berlin played last year. I didn't see them though.
That'd be cool to see.
The Early November. I don't know why they're not on. Haven't been on either of these. I would say they're pretty, big for that era. The Rocket Summer, Jack's Mannequin instead of something corporate, Copeland, Sparta could play this, and then some of the newer bands. I only know so many bands because I wrote Sugar Cult twice, so I must really want them to play.
Wow, padding your stats. Okay.
And then maybe for a headliner, Panic at the Disco, although they broke up, and then everyone on the message board, wants them to play, and then everybody points out in the comments, oh, well, they just broke up a year ago. And it's like, okay, we get it, but we still want them to play.
Which message boards do you frequent?
Oh, Facebook. I'm not a Reddit person.
I was about to say,
I'm not cool enough for Reddit.
I would love for you to be on some 2007
I'm
style message board.
Poster.
I would love that.
I'm a moderator of a Reddit
because
board.
message boards only live really in two realms now, as far as I know, and that is still bodybuilding.com forums and college football.
Oh, you're big into that one, huh?
Oh, I was. And college football message boards. Other than that, everyone moved to Reddit, or in your case, Facebook.
I joined Facebook in 2004.
Are you bragging or confessing?
Kind of both. But Fall Out Boy is a glaring, one that hasn't been announced. I guarantee that they're one of the headliners next year.
Yeah.
Coming off this big tour, I mean, there's no way that they're not a headliner next year.
Yeah.
They're in the mode. They're ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
They're good to go and going nowhere fast. Anyway, let's see who else. I said okay. So the newer bands that would fit the bill that should be on it, maybe on some of the smaller stages. I'd love to see With Confidence get back together. I didn't even know when we saw them that was their farewell tour. So I thought it was a great show. I'd love to see them get back together just to play a one-off, a major show like this. They'll make a ton of money. All these bands made a ton of money this week.
Good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Who else? I think Stand Atlantic could be a good fit. Tokyo Police Club, little band from back in the day. Newer bands though, Sincere Engineer I think could play.
All right.
Heart Attack Man.
Yeah, Cleveland Boys.
Yep.
Gonna see them December 30th.
Yep. Yeah. Happy New Year party.
Mm-hmm.
Broadside, Amber Pacific. Old one, Hit the Lights. The Wonder Years, they could play. They didn't play last year or this year. Trophy Eyes, newerish band. Hot Milk, saw them at they were a big surprise band last year at Sad Summer Festival. hot milk.
Where do
Very
you
good
land?
out of England.
Where do you land on hot milk as a concept?
Hot milk was a bad choice. But great band. I don't know how to say it or how it's pronounced, but WSTR, Worcester. They're kind of hardcore.
I think you nailed it.
Yeah, whatever. Sueco, Drain as a hardcore band.
Sueco, that sounds like a gas station.
SUECO.
Yeah, confirmed.
And then the last one I put on, and I could probably name a few more if I would look through some of my playlists, but the Joy Formidable.
You did this all just at the top of your dome?
I had a little bit of help. I was kind of playing music in the background.
Okay.
It would like make me think of somebody else. So.
Yeah. I mean, like, we couldn't remember the name of Chop Suey.
Right.
To know your memory was so
It's
functional.
impeccable. It's photographic.
Yeah.
But there's no film in the camera.
Well, I think those all make sense as additions to a good mix of legacy acts and up and coming acts.
Yeah, I mean, this right here could be the lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, you're welcome, Live Nation, for doing all your work for
When you submit their survey, they're just going to be like, cancel
this guy.
all the other surveys. Who is this guy?
We need him. So one thing I think Cobra Starship might be there is because their singer Gabe Saporta did a guest spot with the Academy at this festival. So I think there's openings there. I think that they would do it.
Speaking of openings related to the Academy
Yeah.
you met someone, right?
Yeah, I did. I met William, the singer of the Academy and I don't think I've met a nicer guy.
Mm-hmm.
Very like gracious. Like so I'm walking out of the festival. Green Day's still playing. I'm just done. And I walk by this guy and the girl. They're kind of like checking their phone. They must be looking for something. And I walk right by them. And then I look behind me and I realize that, so during the set, William was wearing this sweater, and I'm like, holy crap, how are you wearing this sweater? I feel sweat dripping down my back while I'm watching him wear a sweater on stage. I'm like, he's got to be so unbelievably hot. But I get it, like the style, aesthetics are so important. And he's wearing these like Doc Marten type boots and white jeans. But anyway, I'm walking out of the festival. I pass them, I look back, he's wearing a different sweater and the same boots. So I'm like, is that him? Is that not him? But once I see the boots, I'm like, oh yeah, that's him. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, nervous. Do I go back? Do I say something to him? If I do, what do I even say? Like, I'm just not good in that, not confrontation, but like, excuse me, pardon me.
You could have reused that line from the night prior, like, "Hey, I'm just gonna awkwardly stand next to you, and if it gets weird, just tell me."
Yeah,
that could have worked.
Yeah. So anyway, I do go back, and I just say, "Hey, I saw you. I just wanted to say, you had a great set. Really happy I got to see it. Never got to see you perform before." And he just started asking me questions.
What?
I'm like, yeah. He's like, starts talking to me like I'm a regular human being, right? Like,
and but you're not.
Right.
That's so nice of him.
And find out, like, he introduces me to his wife next to him. I'm like,
wow.
He didn't have to do that, right? Like, he could have just talked to me for a minute and shoved me on my way. And then he started asking I told him about the podcast. And started asking some questions about it.
You got gutsy. He was really building you up.
Yeah, he was. I felt really good.
Yeah.
And I told him the name of it. I said it's called the Hold My Spot podcast. And he's like, oh, like you're standing in line getting into a show? And I'm like, yeah, you get it. I'm like, it's that, or like you're in a crowd and you're with someone and they're holding a spot. So it was hugely validating for the name of our podcast.
So he liked that.
He liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I told him, we review bands. And he's like, oh, I hope I get a good review. And kind of joking around a little bit. And then, so just really cool talking to him. super nice guy. I really hope that they do more extensive touring. I mean, they're based out of Chicago, so Cleveland's not so far. He started talking about when he used to tour, he'd come to Cleveland and like the Cleveland scene and the Free Press, and like he knew the venues and the people and everything about Cleveland. So it was really cool. I had a really good experience meeting
a wide-ranging conversation with William.
Yeah. And
That's
the whole
awesome.
time I'm like, I don't know what else to say.
Right, you're having to like think through like, what's my next question? What's my next question?
Yeah.
Got to keep this
Which when you do that, then you're like not listening to what somebody's saying to you.
It's like juggling.
I'm like, So, yeah, awesome. So not only super nice guy, but one of the best sets of the whole day for me.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Huge bucket list band to see live.
Look at you.
Yeah, I know. I was actually
Look
like
at you.
being a podcaster for a weekend.
You were a podcaster, a mosh pitter.
I know. I met people. We garnered some fans to our podcast on social media.
Look at you, man of the people.
I know.
So, I hope you went to bed the second you got back to the hotel that night.
I met up with what were the code names?
Cheese and Burger.
I met up with Cheese.
Yeah.
Cheese. Didn't we lock you in a dumpster? Yeah, I got out. Do you remember that from old school? Yeah. Jeremy Piven walks into the frat house, and he's the dean now, and he starts asking him questions. He's like, "Yeah, I forget his name. I'm Dean Pritchard." He's yeah. Didn't we used to call you Cheese? Yeah.
I got out.
Cheese. Didn't we lock you in a dumpster?
My subconscious recognized the reference, but my bad memory couldn't tell it to you.
So there you go. There's my photographic memory without the film in it.
So you met up with Cheese?
Met up with Cheese. And now it's like a blur. So what do? We walked a big part of the strip back, and then there was a point where I just turned to Cheese and I'm like, dude, I'm done walking. Like, I'm just
when you know, you know.
Yeah. So I think we just got an Uber and we went back, and I took a shower because it was disgusting.
I almost thought
I went to bed.
You said I took shot. I was like, another shot?
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
Yeah. No, I'm not an alcoholic. Just a
lame
aspiring one.
Can't all live our dreams.
Yeah.
So you finally got to bed, and then what time did you have to get on the flight the next day?
So the flight wasn't until Monday at 11 p.m. Pacific time.
Oh, wow.
So now we're talking back to, 1 or 2 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
The red eye. But Cheese and I had a real nice day together.
Yeah?
No
Burger?
Burger met up with some other friends from high school or something, and he stayed another night.
Damn, Burger?
Yeah, I know.
He
went out after the show. Burger went out. He met up with some other friends, and they went gambling. And I'm like, I just can't do it.
So Burger stayed, and you guys cheesed it.
Yeah, I see what you did there. Oh boy! All right, so Monday then. Monday we just kind of chilled, kind of getting late out of the hotel. Slept in a little bit. Went and grabbed. Where did we go? We went and grabbed food. Oh. We went to MGM and just ate at one of their restaurants there. Just a little breakfast. Mm-hmm. Sat at the breakfast bar. Had a mimosa.
Yeah.
Didn't quite get white girl drunk, but worked on it.
Boo.
Lots of coffee.
Yeah.
Good eggs. I had eggs Benedict. Very delicious.
I'm not huge in the hollandaise sauce, but
no?
Carry on.
It's every once in a while. It's not something I need to have every weekend at brunch, but once a quarter, once every 6 months when the mood hits, I like a good one.
Sure, buddy.
And met some other people there, kind of catty corner to us at the bar, and I've stayed in touch with them since then. But it'd be really cool next year. We were talking to these two women at the breakfast bar.
Oh.
that we'd like to get more of a group feeling for next year. Maybe we can get a little Hold My Spot podcast. Okay, we are back. Part 2.
Where were we?
So we were talking about hollandaise sauce and how you love it.
Yeah. Can't get enough of that stuff.
So we were running through the Monday kind of wrap-up itinerary. So after brunch, I think I was just talking about getting white girl drunk, or not quite white girl drunk.
Yeah.
We just kind of walked around the strip, check out some of the hotels. Cheese had never been to Vegas, so showing him around a little bit, and just good. I mean, it's really cool. You can spend a whole day basically going casino to casino, looking at the all the different attractions, and it's a big area, so there's a lot of walking. It's nice.
Yeah,
it's a nice city. I like going to Vegas even by myself because there's just so much to do all the time, and there's people everywhere all the time. So you can make friends. You can you can eat 24/7. You can go to a club. You can go, out to Red Rocks Canyon or the Grand Canyon, or any of the national parks around there, Death Valley, Zion. All that's within like a decently close drive or tour.
Are you a travel agent for Las Vegas?
Yeah.
I mean, you could be at this point. You really
should be. Sponsor us, Las Vegas Tourism Board.
I just want Las Vegas to sponsor us.
Yeah. What happens in Vegas? Anyway, and then wrapped up, went to the Sphere.
Is it the Sphere or Sphere?
Sphere, because it's circular.
Well, I know, but is it the, or is it the Sphere, or just Sphere?
Is it the Sphere?
I'm told
like
it's
the Ohio State
I'm told it's
University.
not that. I'm told it's just Sphere.
Whatever. I mean, if you watch the other review, I was underwhelmed by the Sphere. Drastically so.
What?
Yeah. So
what are you talking about?
Not to the outside is awesome. It's got the smiley face. I just saw it had the moon on it. It had a pumpkin smiley face. Like it interacts, or seemingly interacts. It's cool. It's massive. It's beautiful. It's a architectural and technological wonder. But I went and saw the Darren Aronofsky film Postcard from Earth in it. And the whole thing was fine. I mean, we showed up at 4:30. I didn't realize that it was, doors open at 4:30. And then you get shuttled into a lobby, basically. And you look at this tech about AI and robots and holograms, and it's fine, but you have to spend an hour in there. So 4:30, now the doors have opened. You spend an hour in there, now it's 5:30. The movie started after that, and the movie that you pay a lot of money for, so the tech is underwhelming. I mean, it's cool. It's kind of a stepping stone in the right direction of like real holograms and real robots and real AI. But some of the things were sponsored by Meta, and they're trying to get you to make avatars for the metaverse, which, does anybody use that? Like, is anybody interested in the metaverse anymore?
Wait, hold up. I'm so confused because like all the clips you see of Sphere are from the U2 concert, and you're sitting in your seat, and it's all around you. Is that not where you were?
I was there, but I did not see U2. I saw the Darren Aronofsky film Postcard from Earth, which have you ever been to the OmniMax Theater downtown at the Great Lakes Science Center? Mm-hmm. It's essentially that, but 14K or 16K or whatever it is, instead of 1080p, whatever that was when it was built in 2001.
Yeah.
It's a lot bigger. The Sphere holds 60,000 people in it. It's huge.
Yeah.
You get like vertigo when you're walking to your seat and you look down and you're like, holy crap. The film is cool. But I paid $165 for this movie, and the movie is only 50 minutes long. It's beautiful. It's basically a National Geographic film, like different clips of different animals and areas around the planet, and then you get to cities, and then, humans are bad. They start talking about that and how now the humans had to leave Earth to let it heal because we're polluting too much and we're too much of a drain on the ecosystem. And now we have to go to other planets to colonize those planets. And some of the clunkiest dialogue I've ever heard was in this because it was being narrated this whole time.
I was gonna say, like, it's like more like documentary style.
Yeah.
Nature show style.
That's exactly what it was. But it's kind of held together by people leaving Earth, and now they're being oriented on what Earth was and why they're in this other area because they've been asleep for so long during space travel. But then they wake up and clunky dialogue. I mean, people were laughing in the movie about how bad the dialogue was.
But I take it wasn't intended to be funny.
I don't believe so, no. I mean, Darren Aronofsky is a serious filmmaker. He is
very earnest.
Very, very good.
Mm.
Appreciate a lot of his films. This, I feel he grabbed the money and ran. And I think it was mostly an advertisement to us. We paid to see this advertisement that was a proof of concept for what Sphere can do.
Mm-hmm.
But with all that being said, I believe that seeing U2 or any other concert there would be absolutely mind-blowing.
Okay.
But the movie, because U2 wasn't playing the day that I was in town, so I was like, well, I want to go. It's only been open a month. Let's go check this thing out. I paid way too much money for the ticket for a 50-minute long movie that was cool, but not $165 worth. I had to get advertised to in the lobby. The tech that they had there was not that great. And I just wouldn't mind about $100 back out of that. I mean, I know it's Vegas. Things are expensive. I don't want to totally crap on Sphere.
I better understand now. It's not so much being disappointed by Sphere.
Yeah.
But being disappointed by the show that you saw at Sphere.
Yeah.
Sphere as a concept
is amazing.
Is incredible.
Yeah.
The tech of the building, the video screens.
Unbelievable. But don't go see Darren Aronofsky's film there.
I think
because the cheapest tickets were like $90, and of course those were sold out, so I had to go to the next tier.
It definitely sounds like a proof of concept.
Yeah, it was a proof of concept for the technology, which, okay, you got to do, but do you have to charge that much money to do it?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I got scammed.
Well, you paid it.
I did, because I wanted to be part of the first month worth of visitors.
But you're doing the good thing, and you're putting out the word.
I am. So there's
you're letting people know this is a PSA.
Yeah, there's a whole separate...
Sphere is a scam. Don't do
There's
it.
a whole separate episode about just
Don't
the Sphere.
do Sphere.
The Sphere people are not happy with me. They're going to bury our podcast.
The Sphere people, the Sphere jeers, they hate this right now. They hate you. We thought you were polarizing before.
Yeah.
No longer.
That's right.
It's very clear.
That's right. So anyway, saw a postcard from Earth. And then we went, I forgot to tell you, we went and saw the location where Tupac got shot.
Yeah?
Yeah. So
recently solved murder.
Is it solved? I
They
know they
said
arrested somebody.
They got someone. In my mind, that's done. You think I'm going to check in? It's over.
I'm sure they arrested somebody back in 1994 or whenever.
We got our guy. We got our guy.
Case closed. Just close the manila folder.
Yep. What's next?
Put it in the filing cabinet. Send that guy to jail for life.
You being a big a 90s hip-hop head, you really appreciated that lore, that history?
It was interesting to see. I mean, I had watched that. Did you ever see the 30 for 30 about Tupac?
No, I haven't seen that.
The night hip hop died or something, whatever it's called. Because it was the same night as a Mike Tyson fight. and they just kind of go through like minute by minute or hour by hour of what happened that night. Really interesting 30 for 30. They're all so well done, but that one was very good too.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, and so it was interesting to see. I mean, it's only a block from the Strip. I've probably been in that vicinity before, but never really realized that that's where it was.
Rarely shot at.
Yeah, never shot at, actually.
You ever like feel, I think it's one thing to have friends, but if you never have enemies, did anyone ever really care about you that much?
Well, every podcast we get more and more enemies.
Oh, the sphere jeers.
Yeah, I know. Sphere jeers.
Sorry, I said the again. It's so hard
They're
to...
getting canceled now.
Sphere.
So after Sphere, we went to that location, saw the memorial, which was cool. And then we went to In-N-Out Burger.
Oh, I love In-N-Out.
So that was my second time at In-N-Out, but my first time of being able to taste it, because I was sick the last time, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna go, and I literally couldn't taste anything.
You were pre-sick before you, like In-N-Out didn't make you sick.
No, In-N-Out did not make me sick. I had a cold, could not taste anything, and still ordered the food. Like, yeah, seems like it'd be really good. But this time I was actually able to taste it. Great experience, great food.
Animal style?
I tried some animal style fries that Cheese got.
Yeah. Did he like it?
Yeah, he's had it before.
Yeah.
I got the double, regular fries, chocolate shake.
It's a good burger.
Yeah, really good burger. It reminds me of like a thinner Five Guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good comparison.
Yeah.
It's lighter. It doesn't sit as heavily in the stomach as Five Guys.
Yeah, Five Guys. I mean, they have their whatever it is, their just regular burger. It's a double, but it's like twice as much meat as the double from In-N-Out.
I am, man, I hope McDonald's is open now. This has made me really hungry.
You're going home, grab some McDonald's.
I kind of want to now. I think I'm gonna grab some fast food.
What's it called?
So
Sheetz is open.
Sheetz is open. Is Culver's stay open?
No,
Probably not.
So then after that, basically, went to the hotel, grabbed our bags, went to the airport, and made it back. Landed at 6 a.m. Cleveland time. Slept for an hour, got home, slept for an hour, went to work. It's a true corpo hack that I am.
Legend.
Yeah. Epic weekend.
You did it,
sure.
man. You did it.
Yeah, thank you.
You did the thing. Well,
so
any closing remarks?
I mean, I think everybody can tell that, again, I had a fantastic experience this weekend. Emo Nite, A+. When we were young, A+. I mean, even just how they ran the festival was improved over last year with the quality of merch, the flow. I hope that they change the VIP areas at the main stages back to the way it was last year. What was the other thing? There was something else I didn't really like. I forget, but
anything you want to say to the people out there that are saying that you are not down to ride?
I am down to ride. And if this weekend doesn't prove that I'm down to ride, I don't know what will. I mean, travel across the country for a day and a half, bookended by work on both sides. Leave work, go to the airport. Leave the airport, go to work. I mean,
listener, it's up to you to decide.
Yeah, tell us in the comments, am I down to ride or am I not down to ride?
Is Matt down to ride?
Yeah, we'll never know.
Well, I think that wraps up another episode of the Hold My Spot podcast. If you enjoyed that, whether you're a music fan or our faithful non-music fan listeners, we hope you come back and hear us recount our experiences at the next concert.
Yeah, what do we have coming up?
We've got the Hotelier in Foxing.
Yep.
At the Roxy.
Yeah, got moved.
On November 12th, I want to say.
Don't we have something coming up sooner?
I'm seeing Pink at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse.
Can't wait for that review.
Yeah.
Another guest.
Another
appearance
Megan
from
episode.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I think there was something else. Forgetting.
I was thinking about going to Knuckle Puck on Friday.
This upcoming Friday?
Yeah, I think it's Knuckle Puck and Real Friends, which we saw Real Friends last year.
Oh, PD on the 15th.
PD.
At House of
And
Blues.
then Heart Attack Man. That's going to be our last show unless we somehow pull out a December 31st show, but that's December 30th.
You mean, yeah, last show of the year?
Of the year. Calendar year.
Yeah. I'm sure we can find somebody playing on 31st. We'll see.
Some nice cover band at a hotel party for the new year.
It counts. It counts. You know, we didn't do our podcast about the band
The
we
wedding
saw
band.
play at the wedding.
Yeah.
Maybe
It could be another one.
maybe another time. But yeah, if that all sounds good to you, we'll make sure to hold a spot for you. See you guys.
See you guys.